session of indirect taxes for the final level. Are you all there? Are we live now? I welcome all of you to this third session of indirect taxes for final level. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Did you follow first two classes? Did you follow first two classes? Let me quickly know in the chat window. So we have seen all the basics of GST. We have seen all the basics of GST. You also got introduced to the CGST Act section wise index. Yes, section wise you came to know that what is the content of CGST Act, right from scope of supply, that is section 7, till the miscellaneous sections. So yes, did you understand? Did you get very basics of GST? Did you understand basics of GST? Any doubt till now? Please let me know. Because today we have to start with section 9, that is levy and collection of GST. Yes, of course, section 9 of CGST Act. Yes, guys, I am waiting for your reply in the chat window so that quickly we can start with section 9. Section 9 we have to do nicely in depth. Section 9 we have to do nicely in depth, focusing on each and every word of that section so that we get detailed knowledge of how exactly to read the act. Yes, when we do any act, we have to understand how to go about the interpretation of the wordings of the act. So I always believe in going to the wordings of the bare act, and then also understanding it in layman's language, okay, breaking it in easy language, and obviously doing problems on that. So hello all, who all is there watching? Just say hi to me so that I can understand that who all I am teaching to. Yes, dear friends. So let us begin section 9 of CGST Act. What it says, okay, you might find that, oh, why are we reading each and every word? But it is compulsory to understand the act in depth. Okay, so it starts with subject to provisions of subsection 2. Now subject to means keeping in view. Subject to means keeping in view. So keeping in view the provisions of subsection 2, there shall be levied. Now the word shall, when you get word shall in any of the act, shall is presenting mandatory. Mandatory means compulsory. So there shall be levied a tax called as CGST on what? On intrastate supplies of goods or services or both. Now why we are encountering the word intra? Because we are reading CGST Act. Agreed? Because we are talking about CGST Act, word intra is used. Yes, very good evening, Chandrakant. Yes. So intrastate supplies of goods or services or both. So it can be supply of only goods or supply of only services or supply of both goods as well as services. Yes, we are also going to go in depth of what exactly means goods, what exactly means services. Obviously, we know in the layman's language what is goods and service, but we need to understand according to the act. Yes, so on supplies of goods or services or both, except on supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So in short, alcoholic liquor for human consumption is permanently kept out of GST. Yes, it is permanently kept out of GST. Please understand that. So because there is no provision in the constitution to tax alcoholic liquor for human consumption by both the governments jointly, so it is kept out of GST. Okay, now see, on the value determined under section 15 means whenever GST will be chargeable, it will be chargeable on the value determined under section 15. Now you may check the index of CGST Act that we have done in the last session. Section 15 is valuation, isn't it? Section 15 is valuation. Yes or no? So that's how the section wise index will help you. It will help you to get that confidence. Yes. So in short, whenever you have to find whenever you have to find valuation, you have to go to section 15. And whenever GST will be chargeable on intrastate supply, it's going to be CGST, and valuation will be done as per section 15. And at what percentage GST will be charged? It will be at such rates, okay, which rates? As notified by government on recommendation of council. In short, friends, the source of GST percentage is notification issued by central government. Okay, and it is not any act, it is notification issued by central government. And then they were saying that these rates cannot exceed 20%. Now these rate cannot exceed 20% is guideline for whom? The rate cannot exceed 20% is guideline for government, who is going to set these percentages, isn't it? So we are reading CGST Act. In CGST Act, the maximum percent mentioned is 20. So friends, I want to ask you, what will be the overall maximum rate of GST? If 20% is for CGST, then what will be overall maximum rate for GST? Then overall maximum rate for GST will be, yes, 40. How 40? CGST Act will talk about 20. SGST Act will talk about 20. So overall maximum becomes 40. Do you agree with me? Yes. And then obviously, if you are talking about CGST plus UTGST, then from UTGST Act you will get 20. So yes, overall maximum we are talking about is 40. And if we talk about IGST Act, then the charging section of IGST Act, which is levy and collection section, that is section 5 of IGST Act, will directly talk about 40%. Okay, you know the obvious reason why it is talking about 40%. Because, yes, dual model. Then, and collected in such manner as may be prescribed. So GST will be collected in manner as may be prescribed. Now where it is prescribed? It will be prescribed in the rules, isn't it? It will be prescribed in the rules and shall be paid by taxable person. So who will pay GST is taxable person. Yes, now coming up is, who is this taxable person? Yes, so taxable person means a person who is registered under CGST Act or who is liable to be registered under CGST Act. Okay, so that's what is the meaning of the word taxable person. Yes. So this completes 9.1. So to quickly sum up 9.1, what we can say? If I want to quickly sum up section 9 subsection 1, then what does it say? Can you tell me major points in 9.1? I want all of you to write these points in the notebook. Yes, are you with me? Are you writing these points in the notebook? 9.1's important point on intrastate supply. On intrastate supply, there will be CGST. Obviously, you know that. Secondly, and obviously needless to say, plus SGST slash UTGST. This plus SGST slash UTGST you will get in those respective acts. This will be at, this will be on value as notified. On value as computed under section 15. Isn't it? It will be at rate. This is very important. The source of percentage of GST, the rate of GST. It will be at rate notified by government. Yes, it will be at rate notified by government. But government cannot notify rate beyond 20%. So maximum rate that can be notified is 20% when I talk about CGST. Okay, so therefore overall maximum rate will be 40%. Okay, and of course 40% will also be the rate for IGST. So this maximum rate is given for whom? This instruction is given for government. Agreed? This instruction is given for government. Then, as we already had discussed, alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption is permanently kept out of GST. Is permanently kept out of GST. Okay. And what else did we understand from this 9.1? From 9.1, what we understood is, yes, that who is liable to pay GST? It is taxable person. It is taxable person who is liable to pay GST. Correct? And this GST will be collected in the manner as prescribed. As prescribed means where it is prescribed. So collection of GST is in manner as prescribed. Agreed? Of course, it is prescribed in rules. Is it clear to all of you? What is 9.1 trying to talk about? Yes, no? Quickly let me know in the chat window so that we can slowly, steadily move to 9.2. Yes, I think let's go to 9.2. Okay, we have not missed out on any point. Let's go to 9.2. Agreed till this point, all of you? So there is a different fun in understanding any law word to word, so that you know you don't miss out on any important point. And in future, if you are practicing in this law and you open Bare Act, then you know things are not foreign for you, things are not new for you, because you already know how to connect with the Bare Act. Yes. Then 9.2, central tax on supply of Now we are talking that 9.2 is talking about 5 fuels. It is talking about 5 fuels which are kept out of GST. These 5 fuels are kept out of GST not permanently but temporarily. Okay, these are kept out of GST temporarily. Which are those 5 fuels? Petroleum crude, high speed diesel, motor spirit, that is petrol, natural gas, and aviation turbine fuel. Okay, on these 5 fuels, GST shall be levied with effect from such dates as may be notified by government on recommendation of council. Means on these 5 fuels, GST will be charged from future date as notified. That's why I'm saying that it is just temporarily kept out of GST. Agreed? So government is yet to figure out from which date to charge, GST on this fuels. Yes or no, guys? Did you understand which 5 fuels are kept out of GST? Aviation turbine fuel means that fuel which is used in planes. Okay. Is it clear? Quickly, let me know in the chat window. I'm waiting for your reply. Yes, then let's go ahead and understand. Okay, before going ahead, let's understand taxable person. So already we discussed actually who is taxable person and what is the importance of taxable person. Taxable person will be liable to pay GST. So who is that taxable person? One who is registered under CGST Act or one who is liable to be registered. Okay, they will be called as taxable person, and this taxable person will be liable to pay GST to the government. Okay, that's why this definition of taxable person matters. And you will be easily able to connect registered or liable to be registered. We had discussed that liability for registration is given in section 22, and cases where registration is mandatory is given in section 24. So even understanding definitions becomes easy when you know the sections arrangement. Okay, let's go ahead and try to check 9.3. Now 9.3 and 9.4, what are they going to talk about? Check. Very critical sections. First of all, let's discuss one issue, which is forward charge mechanism. What do you think is forward charge mechanism? Do let me know. Do let me know in the chat window. What do you mean by forward charge mechanism? What do you mean by forward charge mechanism? Yes. So forward charge mechanism means it is liability of supplier to pay GST. It is liability of supplier to pay GST. Agreed, guys? It is liability of supplier to pay GST is forward charge mechanism. Yes. Means what? I'll give you one example. You go to a theater. So I'm talking about a theater owner. Okay, theater owner theater could be run by company. It could be run by individual, anyone. So I'm talking about theater owner and I'm talking about audience. Now you agree with me that theater owner is supplier. Yes or no? Theatre owner is supplier of services. Audience is recipient of supply. Yes, theatre owner is supplier and audience is recipient of supply. Do you agree with me? Now, here movie ticket, there is a movie ticket, and say this movie ticket is uh, let's simplify it. Movie ticket is 100 rupees and on that GST is say 18. So 118 is final overall movie ticket. So recipient of supply pays 118. Do you agree with me? Recipient of supply pays 118. Supplier gets GST. Supplier gets GST of 18. And this GST amount of 18 is paid by supplier to the government. Do you agree? Do you agree that yes, 18 rupees of GST in this example is paid by supplier to the government? So this is called as forward charge mechanism. That means it is liability of supplier to pay GST. So whatever transactions you have been doing till date, those all were of forward charge mechanism. Do you agree? You went to a shop, bought clothes. Okay, you paid to the shopkeeper amount including GST and shopkeeper paid that GST to the government. Yes, you went to a stationery shop, bought some pen, pencil, notebook. You paid to the stationery shop owner amount including GST and that stationery shop owner paid GST to the government. Isn't it? Take any example, take absolutely any example, you will find forward charge mechanism. Because in 99.99% cases, there will be forward charge mechanism. Did you understand what is forward charge mechanism? It is liability of supplier to pay GST. Yes, wonderful. It is liability of supplier to pay GST. Now I want to discuss about reverse charge mechanism. Now I want to discuss with you about reverse charge mechanism, RCM. So please tell me, now it will be whose liability? Now it will be whose liability to pay GST? If in forward charge mechanism it is liability of supplier, then in reverse charge mechanism it will be whose liability? In reverse charge mechanism it will be liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. Got it? In forward charge mechanism, why do you think is supplier liable to pay GST? So I told you that 99% of the cases are of forward charge mechanism. So why do you think the liability is put on supplier to pay the GST? Liability is put on the supplier to pay GST because of very simple reason, convenience. It is easy to collect GST from whom? It is easy to collect GST from so many people watching the movie. There will be thousands of people watching the movie. It is easy to collect GST from thousands of people, or is it easy to collect GST from this organized supplier? Of course, it is easy to collect GST from this organized supplier. Yes or no? That's why there is a forward charge mechanism in 99.99% cases. So government's machinery to collect GST, machinery means the officers required for collection of GST, that will be sizably reduced, and they will find it easy to collect GST. That's why you have forward charge mechanism in majority of the cases. Did you understand till this point what is forward charge mechanism? Guys, do reply. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and check what is reverse charge mechanism. So, needless to say, reverse charge mechanism means it is liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. It is liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. Got it? It is liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. Now, this happens only in notified cases. Mind you, it's very important to know this happens only and only in selected cases, that is notified cases. Agreed? This won't happen in usually. So this will happen only in notified cases. Now, which cases are notified? That at length we are going to see, but as of now, I am going to give you one example of notified case. Okay. So to explain you the concept and the importance of this concept, I'll give you one example of notified case. Okay. See, one of the notified case is agency services. Agency services, or you can say services of soliciting client. Service of soliciting client is given by LIC agents. LIC agent is just example, any agents of insurance company. Agents of insurance company to insurance company. Did you understand which case we are talking about? Which service we are talking about? So this is one of the notified service. Agency services, that means, say, assume we are talking about LIC. So LIC agent is giving service to LIC. Okay. And what does he receive in return? The consideration which he receives in return is called as what? Yes. What is that consideration called as which he gets? Answer it so that I will understand that you have got the concept. That consideration in return is called as, yes, it is called as commission. Yes, so we are talking about commission that agent is getting. So I will put it like this. Here you have that LIC agent. Here you have that LIC agent. And here you have insurance company. Okay. Many students will have doubt in mind. Okay. That is, sir, but LIC agent gives supply to person who is insured. That is the policy holder. No guys, no guys. Technically, LIC agent gives service to insurance company. How I have to understand that? Who is paying LIC agent? Is the person who is insured, is that person paying LIC agent, or insurance companies paying LIC agent? So insurance companies paying LIC agent. isn't it? So this is the flow of service and this is the flow of commission. Did you understand? This is the flow of service and this is the flow of commission. Now what happens? So LIC agent, I will say in this case, is supplier of service and insurance company is recipient of supply. Now tell me who is more organized in this case. Who is more organized in this case? As a government officer, you will like to collect GST from whom? From thousands of LIC agents or from insurance companies branches. Who is more organized? Thousands of agent or insurance company? Who is more organized? So obviously you will say insurance company is more organized, isn't it? It is easy and desirable to collect GST from insurance company than from LIC agent. Yes, so that's why it is given in reverse charge mechanism. So such cases are given in reverse charge mechanism where collecting GST from recipient of supply is more convenient. I hope you got the point. So in this case, assume commission of 5 lakh rupees is paid. So now only 5 lakh rupees will be paid. Okay, and on this 5 lakh, say GST is 90,000 because we are calculating at 18%. Will government get GST? Answer is yes. But who will pay this GST to government? Recipient of supply will pay GST to government. Did you understand the point? Otherwise, if it was forward charge, recipient of supply would have paid entire 590 to the supplier and supplier would have paid 90 to the government. But since it is reverse charge, 90,000 is paid by recipient of supply himself to the government. Okay, what you need to understand is burden is always on recipient of supply. Do you agree? Burden is always on recipient of supply. But in forward charge mechanism, who pays to government? And in reverse charge mechanism, who pays to government? In forward charge mechanism, supplier pays to government. In reverse charge mechanism, recipient of supply pays to government. Do you agree? In forward charge mechanism, supplier pays to government, and in reverse charge mechanism, recipient of supply pays to government. Yes, so only who pays to government, that changes. Now forward charge mechanism is usual mechanism. Forward charge mechanism is usual mechanism, and reverse charge mechanism, mind you guys, reverse charge mechanism is only in notified cases. Did you understand importance of reverse charge mechanism? Tell me in the chat window. 100% please tell me in the chat window. I am quite sure you have already liked the video and subscribed to the channel, and of course hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any important videos. And you know, from tomorrow this batch will be conducted on MEPL app. Yes, I hope you have taken admission and you are going to attend this batch daily in the same timing, 6 to 7:30. Yes. Let me know that did you understand reverse charge mechanism? Did you understand reverse charge mechanism and logic behind why reverse charge mechanism is needed? Yes, no? Eagerly waiting for your reply. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, guys. Now, so that is your 9(3). The government may means in selected cases, government may notify specified categories of supply of goods or services or both, the tax on which shall be paid on reverse charge basis by recipient of such goods or services or both, and all provisions of this act shall apply to such recipient as if he is the person liable for paying tax in relation to supply of such goods or services or both. So government has got option to notify supply of certain goods and certain services, okay, the tax on which shall be paid on reverse charge basis. Okay, once government notifies particular goods or service under reverse charge, then there is no option, then compulsorily on that reverse charge will apply. Okay, and you know all provisions of the GST Act will apply as if recipient of supply is liable to pay GST. Do you agree with this? Did you understand this? Okay. Tell me. Did you understand? I'm eagerly waiting for your reply. Okay, let's go ahead, guys. Let's go ahead. Now, 9(4). What is 9(4)? 9(4) is also reverse charge mechanism. 9(4) is also reverse charge mechanism, but a unique case. Unique case means, again, government has been given right to notify specified class of registered persons who shall, in respect of specified categories of goods or service or both, received from unregistered supplier. So guys, in 9(4), what is covered? In 9(4), you are covering supplier who is unregistered, and recipient of supply who is registered, but not always in notified cases. So government under this can notify cases where if supplier is unregistered and recipient of supply is registered, then liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. Got it? So that is what was discussed in 9(4). And obviously, if this happens, then such recipient will be liable to pay GST in relation to supply of such goods or services or both. Then guys, 9(5). In 9(5), Okay, first I'd like to tell you a business model. You know what happens actually? Government just government just follows the business happening in India, the business model. Okay, and then they find out that okay, we have to charge GST, and if we have to charge GST, from whom we should charge? Okay, so there is one typical specific business model that is very common today, which government has observed, and they have charged GST. See, if I talk about say 10 years back, 10 years back, how you were booking taxi or cab or auto rickshaw, there was no possibility of booking as such. Okay, 10-12 years back, you had to literally physically go out and search for taxi, cab or auto rickshaw, isn't it? You couldn't do it. There was no app for that. At the best, you can call on some number and book it. At the best, I'm saying. But today, what is the option available? Option available is Ola, Uber, Rapido, and whatnot. Yes or no? So, Ola, Uber, Rapido, what services they are providing? Now, actually, there are drivers here. These drivers here are with their own cab. These drivers here are with their own cab. And here there are passengers. Here there are passengers. Now what exactly government says is, government says that these drivers, okay, or cab owners, means drivers with cab, these people, government says, are actually suppliers. These are actually suppliers. These passengers obviously are recipient of supply. Then who is this Ola? Who is Uber? Who is Rapido? They are no one but they are aggregator. They are aggregator. Aggregator means this Ola, Uber, Rapido, they have aggregated all the drivers with cab on that app. Isn't it? These are the apps. On these apps, they have aggregated all the drivers with cab on one hand. On other hand, they have aggregated passengers. Okay, so they are aggregated on this app. Now, this app is called as e-commerce operator. This app is referred to as e-commerce operator. So in short, suppliers are providing service to recipient of supply through e-commerce operator. Do you agree? Suppliers, that is this cab drivers, are giving supply to passengers via e-commerce operator called as Ola. Now, government says it is very difficult to collect GST from passenger. Means finally burden of GST will be on passenger. But government cannot keep on collecting, say 100 rupees is the cab bill, then 5 rupees from passenger. Government cannot keep on collecting from passengers. They are very unorganized. Okay, if they keep on collecting from passengers, cost of collection will be very high. Okay, they cannot collect from suppliers. Why? They cannot collect from suppliers. Suppliers are mostly cab drivers. Mostly they are unorganized. Correct? They are unorganized. Even passengers are unorganized. Who is most organized in this case? E-commerce operator is most organized in this case. So e-commerce operator is liable to pay GST to government. It is liable to pay GST to government. Did you understand? That government in this case will collect GST from whom? It will collect GST from this e-commerce operator. And observe, what one small homework I would like you to do is, if you have, obviously you must have used some of this app, go in this app and fetch invoice. Fetch invoice, for your travel, and you will find GST of 2.5%. Okay, that GST will be charged under invoice of Ola, and there will be a note written, okay, at the bottom of the invoice, that this is GST collected, okay, as per section 9 subsection 5. Got it, all of you? Yes. So this was one of the notified service under 9.5. This was one of the notified service under 9.5. Sir, is every e-commerce company covered here? No, guys. Only notified services supplied through e-commerce operators. Again, only notified services supplied through e-commerce operators. Then it is liability of e-commerce operators to pay GST. Neither supplier nor recipient of supply. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear, friends? Yes, no? Okay, let's go ahead, guys. Let's go ahead. Another notified service I will tell you, you will identify it easily. There are many hotels providing accommodation. There are many hotels providing accommodation. Okay, there are many hotels providing accommodation, and there are many, customers, recipient of supply, customers. Okay, this was a premier idea of one youngster, okay, Mr. Ritesh Agarwal, who introduced and started Oyo. Then followed Airbnb. You can check Airbnb. Okay, Tribu. What are all this? These are all the apps on which, at one end accommodation service providers are listed, and on other end customers have downloaded this app. So again, these are examples of aggregators, correct? These are examples of aggregators with respect to such accommodation services. They are also notified. So now it is not liability of these hotels to pay GST, because these hotels are unregistered. If these hotels are unregistered under GST, it's not their liability to pay GST. Obviously, you cannot ask GST from customers. So finally, from whom it will be collected? It will be finally collected from, yes, e-commerce operator. Do you agree with me? Did you understand? So this is one more notified supply, which is covered in 9.5. Supply of accommodation services by unregistered persons under GST. Yes. And friends, one more supply is covered, that is, you will know it by name of the company. There could be many e-commerce operators here. Okay, I'm not restricting them to these 3. Okay, these are just common and popular examples. You must be knowing this company, Urban Company, which was earlier called as Urban Clap. Isn't it? This was earlier called as Urban Clap. Now, what do they do? What do they do? At one side, on that Urban Company, there are listed, say, there are listed plumbers. Then electricians, means I can call them as wiremen, electricians, and so on, other people. And they are providing housekeeping services. Which services? They are providing housekeeping services, and they are unregistered under GST. And here there are customers who are recipient of supply. Now guys, you can't expect these people to pay GST, and government also cannot expect recipient of supply to pay GST. So who will be asked to pay GST? Urban Company will be liable to pay GST, that is e-commerce operator. Is the point clear? Are the three notified cases, these are the only three notified cases, are these three notified cases of 9(5) clear to you? I am quite sure that these three notified cases of 9(5) are clear to you. Yes or no? So, usual liability of supplier, in notified cases, liability of recipient of supply, reverse charge mechanism, and in certain cases, liability of e-commerce operator. That is how Section 9 is fixing liabilities. Yes. Let's read what section has to say. Government may. So again, government can select cases which it wants to notify under 9(5). So government may, on recommendation of council, by notification, specify category of services, tax on intrastate because we are in CGST Act. If same thing is given in IGST Act in section 5, then there they will say interstate. Okay, supplies of which shall be paid by electronic commerce operator, that is ECO, if such services are supplied through it. Mind you, through it means this ECO is, in this case, intermediary. Yes, you feel that Ola is providing cab service. It is actually driver who is providing cab service, but it is via Ola. You feel that you are booking Oyo Hotel. It's not Oyo Hotel, it's XYZ Hotel, but its branding is done as Oyo. Agreed? And one more, that you feel that, okay, Urban Company is sending, plumber or wireman. Yes, Urban Company is sending, but it's not employed by Urban Company. It is listed on Urban Company. Okay. Yes, so that's why through it. And all provisions of the Act shall apply to such e-commerce operator as if his supplier liable for paying tax in relation to supply of such services. Agreed, all of you? Now, whenever in the Act there is a word provided, provided stands for, that word talks about proviso. Proviso means exception. Okay, so provided that where ECO does not have physical presence in taxable territory, means ECO does not have office in India, then who will pay the tax? Then representative. Then friends, representative of ECO should pay the tax. Then any person representing such ECO for any purpose in taxable territory shall be liable to pay the tax. Okay. So at any cost, government does not want to leave tax. Okay. If ECO is sitting outside India and it has just floated the app and nicely business is happening in India, government says, wait, if ECO is not physically present in India, if they don't have office in India, they cannot give excuse of not paying tax. They cannot give excuse of not paying tax. They will have to pay the tax, okay, thereby through their representative. Further, provided further, that is basically further proviso, means basically it is second proviso. Second proviso says, understood that physical presence is not there. Now, not only physical presence is not there, even representative is not there. Then who will pay the tax? Then government goes ahead and says, appoint a person in the taxable territory for purpose of paying tax. Means appoint a representative. They go to such an extent that they say, appoint a representative for the sake of paying tax. Agreed? So critical, they have taken it to so critical level. Okay. Now, I have given you here systematically as categories of supplies supplied through ECO which are notified for purpose of section 9 subsection 5. So what we discussed is also given here, that services by way of transportation of passengers by radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab, motorcycle. Services by way of providing accommodation in hotels, inns, guest house, clubs, campsites, or other commercial places meant for residential or lodging purposes, except where person supplying such service through ECO is liable for registration. In short, such services, as I told you, provided by unregistered persons. Yes. And housekeeping services, such as means these are just examples. Plumbing, carpentering, etc., where the person supplying such service through e-commerce operator, yes, is liable for registration. Okay. So in short, these housekeeping services also supplied by unregistered persons. Did you get the point? Yes, no? Did you get the point? Quickly, let me know. Simple enough? Yes. So one thing that I have to remember is Section 9 of CGST Act will correspond to Section 5 of IGST Act. Will correspond to Section 5 of IGST Act. Both are sections of levy and collection. Agreed? Both are sections of levy and collection. What will be difference? In Section 9 of CGST Act and in section 5 of IGST Act. Telling you because you don't have to study it twice. Obviously, you don't have to study it twice. What are the, everything is same. What is different? Few things are different. What is different? Here, intrastate word will be used. Here, interstate word will be used. Secondly, maximum rate discussed in CGST Act will be 20% and maximum rate discussed in IGST Act will be 40%. Do you agree? Yes. Intrastate, here interstate. Rest of the things will remain absolutely same. Okay, obviously valuation will be done as per section 15 of CGST Act, and same thing will continue here also. That valuation will be done as per section 15 of CGST Act. So no separate provisions in IGST Act for valuation. Give me, yes, give me reply in the chat window that have you understood it. Because we are now going to go to one question from the question bank and then conclude with this, section 9's preliminary discussion. Yes, so shall we go to question? Tell me that in the chat window. Shall we go to question? Yes, we should go to question. See, this is your question bank. As you can see, in this question bank, now we can actually solve two of the questions. We can actually solve two of the questions. Page 32, yes, page 32, question number 16. Student is asking, where will we get notes? So in MEPL app, okay, a drive link will be shared to you and all notes will be of course uploaded on that drive. Even the handouts, okay, the study mat as well as question bank, everything will be, yes, uploaded on that drive. So no need to worry. Okay, so first of the question coming up, read it. Mr. Bhudev Agarwal, unregistered person, receives commission of 21 lakhs as insurance agent. Mind you, this commission is received as insurance agent from insurance company. Will he be required to charge GST on the same? Supplier is agent of insurance company, is doing supply to insurance company. Tell me guys, who is liable to pay GST in this case? It is insurance company which is liable to pay GST. Agent is not liable. This case is covered in reverse charge mechanism. Isn't it? Yes. So read the solution. Okay. So as I told you that some questions will be solving in notebook, and of course those which are given in question bank we will be just discussing. So see, this is question just of discussion. So though commission for providing insurance agent services liable to GST, tax payable thereon is to be paid by recipient of service, that is insurance company, under reverse charge in terms of notification number 13/2017. Thus, Mr. Bhudev Agarwal will not be liable to pay GST on such commission. Instead, the insurance company will pay the tax under reverse charge. Did you understand? Very simple, right? Yes, so first Chandrakantji answer whether you have understood all the things that we discussed till now in today's IDT lecture. Yes or no, Chandrakant? And others also, please reply. Am I going to take detailed class today on YouTube? Yes. Okay. Understood? Shall we go ahead to 18th question that I want to do? 18th question. Check. Last question for today and last thing for today. Then tomorrow, as we continue in the app, we will do definition of goods, definition of services, and also we will do list of services covered in the reverse charge mechanism and so on. Many things to be covered, obviously. Okay. Before that, let me tell you, those of who you don't know from where to take the admission, let me tell you, you have to go to MEPL classes website. On MEPL classes website, of course, you can see the legacy of our coaching, okay, of our whole family, MEPL family. What you have to do is you have to go in courses, CMA final, and you will find the course listed here. Right, as you go down, you will find this CMA final tax courses listed, okay, and also in CS professional you will find the course listed. I'm just showing you demonstration of how you can find out the courses on the website. Okay, let's go ahead. See this. Mr. Sanjay, mind you friends, these are all exam questions. Okay, in this question bank, these all are exam questions. Mr. Sanjay of New Delhi made a request for motor cab to super ride for traveling from New Delhi to Gurgaon in Haryana. After Mr. Sanjay pays the cab charges using his debit card, he gets details of driver Mr. Zorawar Singh and the cab's registration number. Got it? Super Ride is mobile application owned and managed by DT located in India. So Super Ride is name of the app. Super Ride is app's name of app. Okay, and DT is e-commerce operator. Okay, the application Super Ride facilitates potential customer to connect the persons providing cab service under the brand name of Super Ride. DT Limited claims that cab service is provided by Mr. Zorawar Singh and hence he is liable to pay GST under provisions of GST law. So Zorawar Singh is supplier. Tell me whether this Zorawar Singh is liable to pay GST or who is liable to pay GST, and hence he is liable to pay GST with reference to provisions of IGST Act. Why reference is made to IGST Act? Reference is made to IGST Act because yes, the cab was booked from Delhi to Haryana. That's why. So, but anyways, you know the provisions of liability of e-commerce operator to pay GST. Yes, those provisions in CGST Act were given in 9(5). In IGST Act, those provisions are given in 5(5). Agreed? Subsection 5 is common, means the wordings are common of subsection 5 in 9 of CGST Act, and it is 5 in IGST Act, levy and collection section. Yes. See, section 5 of IGST Act provides that tax on interstate supplies of specified service notified by government shall be paid by ECO located in taxable territory. We know more specific, 5(5). Okay. If such services are supplied through it. Services by way of transportation of passengers by motor cab supplied through e-commerce operator is one of the notified services. ECO means any person who owns, operates, or manages digital or electronic facility or platform for supply of goods or services or both, including digital products over digital or electronic network. Since DT owns and manages a mobile application to facilitate supply of passenger transportation service in motor cabs over digital network, it is ECO. So we have proved why DT Limited is an ECO. Thus, DT Limited ECO located in India is liable to pay GST in the given case. Okay. Now, there is one more sub question. Would your answer be different if DT Limited means ECO is located in New York? Will your answer be different if DT Limited, that is ECO, is located in New York? If ECO is located in New York, then Proviso will apply. It will be liability of representative of ECO to pay GST. Isn't it? It will be liability of representative of ECO to pay GST. And if ECO is not in India, I mean, if representative is also not there, then ECO will have to appoint a representative, the second proviso. However, where ECO does not have physical presence in taxable territory, in short, this is proviso to section 9. Okay, here 5(5). Proviso to section 5(5). Person representing ECO is liable to pay tax. Further, where ECO has neither physical presence nor any representative in taxable territory, then person appointed by ECO is liable to pay tax. Okay. Accordingly, if DT Limited is located in New York, then any person representing DT Limited in India is liable to pay tax. If DT Limited also does not have representative in India, then it should specifically appoint a representative for purpose of paying tax. Agreed? And of course, if in this question there was an intrastate supply instead of interstate supply, then 9(5) will apply. Isn't it? Yes or no? Did you understand today's session? Any doubt in today's session? Please let me know. I am waiting for next 1 to 2 minutes for your doubts. This is going to happen daily in classes, that yes, I am going to wait for your doubts if any. Meanwhile, I am quite sure you have liked the channel, liked the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any live classes and important announcements. Yes guys, still waiting for your doubts. So today we covered entire section of levy and collection. Levy and collection is your section 9. It is section 9 of CGST Act, and section 9 has 5 subsections. Okay, one had the entire thing of who is liable to pay usually, so taxable person, that is supplier. Okay, and the maximum rate of GST, then on which value it is payable, alcoholic liquor for human consumption is kept out. Okay, all those things were there in 9.1. And of course, collection of GST will be in the manner as given in the rules. Okay, then 9.2 had the 5 fuels which are kept out of GST for time being. 9.3, 9.4 we're talking about reverse charge mechanism, and finally 9.5 was talking about services supplied through e-commerce operator, notified service supplied through e-commerce operator, where it will be liability of e-commerce operator to pay GST. So I hope guys that you have understood section 9 very logically and wording wise, and you have also solved one example on that. That example also you have understood. I'm quite sure about that. So guys, thank you. I'll see you in tomorrow's session in the app at 6 o'clock.